What is up, guys and girls? Today is another day, 312. We left off, basically we completed the melody and we completed the drums. We did do a little bit of touching on the effects just to have a nice little, the way we want it to sound. But now in this video, we're going to go along the song structure and the mixing part of this video. I more than likely will be touching up other sounds here just in case as well, so stick along and, enjoy the ride. So here's what we have. Cool, and then it loops for the rest of the measures, so I guess this is all we have in honesty, you know what I mean? Let's go first, before I go into the mixer, let's talk about realism in, production or making music sound realistic. Here I have the hats, or one of them. Now you see these down here, this is called the velocity. There's also other types of controllers like the panning and the pitch and things like that, cutoffs and stuff, but in this thing here we'll talk about velocity. And yeah, let me go ahead and just make sure I look nice for y'all, you know what I mean? Presentation is key. Notice these are all particularly the same velocities. That basically translates to you hitting the same hi-hat, the same exact velocity, same exact time. And let's be honest, is that realistic? Is that something you could do? Maybe if you're a robot in a factory, I don't know, getting eggs and stuff, you could, suck the eggs, put in a tray, suck the eggs, put in a tray. But you're not a robot. And if you got a robotic bionic arm, that's cool and all, but I don't know, you probably won't be able to do it the same because it's still your mind telling your nerves and whatever. So what we have to do is alternate these hats, the velocities. I know it took so long just for me to show you something simple like this. So I'm just sweeping it like that, just giving it some realistic type of thing, which is basically random. When you think about the metronome, you go bop 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 bop. That's particularly the same thing when it comes to drums and measures and stuff. You'll want to have a stronger accent or a stronger hit on the downbeats that matters for you. So let's try and play this and see what sounds more of a I guess momentum that we want in it. So you can hear, especially here at the end, so it's like a crescendo type of thing. Is that's not what I want. So what I'm gonna do is basically give the first beats more emphasis. So you see how that was down there? Let's drag that up, down there, drag it up, and we can have a little crescendoing thing here, like it's building up to be hit hard. So yeah, so first step, give it a little random sweep, then let's focus on what type of intensities we want with it. Don't get me wrong though, you could copy and paste this if you want, but at the same time, playing with the velocities of all of them could make it really unique. So that sounds way better than if I were to do this. So for example, let me see if I could do this. So I'll play this back to back and you could, hear it, decide for yourself. And let me see, where's that hat? I guess I'll give you that. Sorry, my mic. But you get the gist of it, right? Yeah. So that's gonna give us a even better let me lower this down because it keeps cutting. This is gonna give us a better accent or feel vibe. And I can hear it myself. If you can't hear it, then you know you gotta practice listening. But it does give a better oomph to it. Let's see if I did this here. Nope. Now this one we could do the same little thing. We don't have to play too hard with this. Like that. That's what I had in my head just now, but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing the velocities. So yeah, notice we have the same motif, or yeah, is it motif? We have the same little bar here with all the patterns, the rhythm. So I'm just gonna do this and just hold shift, click and drag. And since we are on bar, it's gonna stay on bar, on guard. So notice we have the same little accents here. Yeah, so I'm just gonna play with the second half of the rhythm for the measure and get what we would like to hear. Let me see this. How about we do this? Sounds cool. And this one, I don't know. Maybe we could like right click and do a Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, it works. So there, subtle stuff like that really makes it pop, you know? And there is tools that you could use. Let me see if I could figure it out. Tools. Strom, Flam, I think Limit as well. No, not Limit. But shit, where is it? It's been so while. I like doing it by hand. But there's things you could do. Was it all the way? No, randomized scale levels. Okay, yeah, this could help out. Tension, strength of it. You can see this is all like close up, less, you know, it's more, I guess you could say, dynamic, up and downs, interpolations. I don't know, some big words. Now this side is, you know, look at this. I'm pretty sure this is the same thing as the other one. So what I'm gonna do is delete all that, and then Control C, and go into this one, Control V, and there we go. Cool. We could like mute these. I'm holding right alt, my bad. The right alt button, and then just doing that. There we go, just like that. That'd be cool if we got a like extra little at the end, but yeah. What I did there was mute it so we could have like these not being played at the same time, so it's like, you know, it's not like witchcraft. So if I were to like, you can hear both of them at the same time, but that's, you know, a bit more, I guess. If you have one hi-hat, I don't know, hi-hats don't even change in pitch, so this technically is irregular. All right, so we did the hats, the kicks, the other hats, snares in particularly, since they're the same thing, it doesn't matter except for the end here. I did do that one with y'all before. The kicks, same scenario. The kicks have different velocities that you could do, especially if you're working like rock music. They'll have different velocities. But this is like an electronic kick too, so that's all right. Oh, groovy. Cool. I'm just doing that. Oh wait, we have more kicks here, more doubles. There we go. Now for the mallets and stuff, it all has its own velocities already inputted. and this is due to me playing on the keyboard, because the keyboard has its own velocity, and it also has something called aftertouch, but that's something else that has to do with events. But yeah, don't gotta worry about it. So in together. It sounds different from the first time I played it around. If you want, you could scroll back to that. But yeah, there obviously is different because we did something to it. Okay, now let's get into like mixing this or making it sound the way we want it to sound. For the most part, we did the pre-mixing, I guess you could call it. But we can always, touch up and see what else we want to do to it. Oops. So notice we have a kick and the bass line. If I were to do, let me just show you with the parametric EQ2, and I'll just go ahead and save this preset as and drag it over here. If I were to hit play, notice it has shared like frequencies. Luckily, we don't really cross over. We are here in the 64 hertz. For the bass, we do get a little bit in 60, like a sweep, but it's not too bad. But if we want, we could throw a sidechain link onto it to, compress it. Let me just delete these. Yeah. Okay. So what we could do is we want to lower the bass when the kick comes in, and I'm going to do it very subtly. So I'm going to go on the kick channel, and I want to route it to the 3x oscillator. I talked about this before, and basically limiter, where's the limiter? And bam. All right, compression and right click, and then go to, oh wait, wrong thing, right click and then go to kick, and we can go ahead and reduce this slightly. So here's the kick peak. Let's try and get that little one just a little bit. And we don't have to do too much of the compression. Actually, yeah, that's not. It's cool. Okay. I do see like a little bit of things here. Maybe we could make it smoother. So if I were to reset that, you see these? It could be considered, bad if some people like it like that. But if you raise the release up, it could help smoothen it. You can also do curvature, different curve types. There you go. That makes it, don't have that fuzziness in it. So if you have no clue what the hell I did just now, just notice that when the kick plays, this is gonna drop. See here? If you were to put it into mathematical, situation, it would be like x. Let me think about this. X plus parentheses y minus x equals B. I guess B will be the new sound signal, X will be the kick, and then Y will be the original kick or the original bass line. So yeah, maybe X. That's why I'm not a mathematician. That's why I work with music. Next, what I'm gonna do is just start introducing other sounds. Sorry, and see if it feels nice with it. I'm gonna work with the drums first, and we can even track it, sum it into its own little preset here, like drums and then the melodics, and then have it both combined into the instrumental. We could do that if we want, and matter of fact, I will do that. So yeah, let me go ahead and jump into this. You feel the bounce? All right, this snare sucks. We're picky, we're choosy. Alt W, show the waveforms. How about we layer this? Yeah, we can easily go to the snare since it's just a simple thing. Here, Control C, Control V. Control C, Control V. I might as well just put that in a new track there. Oops. Let's hear it with everything. Alt W. I'm kind of digging that. Alright, let's stick to these snares now and see if we can make a nice little blend with them for what we want. Let's start with this. I don't like that there's not much. Alright, there we go. But we need, this one has a nice air to it, which is the higher frequencies. So I'm gonna try and like blend those two. There you go. Sounds pretty rad. Is this a mono sound? It is a mono sound. It's crazy. Alright, so I'm gonna, well, they're already in drum reverb. So without it, you can see why reverb sends are nice, right? Okay, so we basically got all the drums set. So what I'm gonna do is take these. I'm not gonna use the bass line in it, should I? I don't even. Yeah, I consider the bass line part of the crew. I'm gonna go here, and because we already have this these routed to the drums, I'm gonna just do this manually. Right click, route to this track, and this track I'm gonna call drums. So basically we summed it up into there. But now that we have it into drums, it's basically going into the output twice, the master output. So we're gonna take it off the masters. So those 5, and then this one we could, you know, right click and route to this only. So now we have the reverb included. Oops. We could create a group with separators, or create a group here, which would probably be the nicer thing to do if you want to be organized, but you know, at the same time, So you can see now we have the total here, and if we want, we could compress this whole thing all together. We could add a transient master all together and so forth, or we could touch up on all of it all together like that. Okay, it's been 30 minutes, but let's get into this half right here. Hopefully I'll speed things up for y'all. For this, I'll compare it with the rest of the sound. I don't like that the bell has a lot of presence in the song. Maybe I'll have to reduce these this side. I can even go here and, you know, reduce that. How about like this? And the third one gets a nice little peak. Let's just be real subtle, or, you know, not too much. That was cool, but it's still in the way, and we could simply reduce the volume. Yeah, the volume of it. There you go. Now it feels like it just sits in the back. If I were to put a wave candy on this, oh wait, hold on, let me save. Notice it's all like in the center. Drums mainly, like, you know, we didn't even pan this. We could pan this if we want, like want, you know, to be a little chorale with it. And this reverb, you can see the reverb helps that, but you know, we're not being too obvious with it, so that's all good. Yeah, you can see it messes with that as well. We could do this. If you picture like a drum set or something. Now we have a better image or a stereo field of it. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show you all. Now this sound sticks like a little sore thumb to me. I know it's the velocity again. Let's go to this. It's the same thing over and over, isn't it? Yeah. So you saw that one that sticked out real hard? That's what stuck out like a thumb. There we go. Cool. So that's how that feels, sounds. I practically did what I wanted on this for what I know. Yeah, sounds pretty sick. Where is the stereo enhancer? There we go. So you can see it's more dominant on the right side. This side has a little bit of left bias as well. If not, I could do the same little treatment over there and flip it. You may be thinking, and don't worry, your thinking is correct, this could overlap with the bass. Let's see. Here's this, and you can hear it just now with the din din din. Close that off real quick. You heard the din din din. It kind of feels like a little hiccup. So essentially, it feels like it's basically doing a little side chain on that. But what's really happening is that the bass is taking over that frequency. So let me put a little bit more emphasis on this. There you go. And if we were to do this alone, see, there's no like on it. So yeah, we could like, you know, give it its own little personal space. It doesn't even have it right. Let me put these back on. You see they all have like a shared around the 289 hertz. Maybe I could dip that a bit. I could drop it down here. We could right click here. Let me see, type in value. No. Whatever. There we go, 289. Let's just drop that down. We can even give it a little strength in there. And yeah, just like that. Right click, C for copy, go over here, right click, paste, same thing. It doesn't sound like it's dipping anymore, but more overall it has like space to actually give its little, you know, spot. Does it sound different? You let me know in the comment section below. This is 40 minutes, so maybe I'll just stick to the mixing for this. Yeah, anyways. Okay, I'll be honest, it's still there. Maybe here. But it's not as bad as it was just now. So yeah, now we got the sound, the drums the way we want it, the melodies the way we want it. We could find a good balance between them now. And what I could do is right click that so we can bring it all the way back up here. Even though it's -3, we probably don't want that much decibels introduced. I'm looking for around -6. Yeah, usually it's a safe area, so then we could like, you know, do a little mastering or whatever if you want to make instrumental out of it. So far we worked on this for 1 hour 50 minutes. 41 minutes of it is because of this video here. But oops, that's basically touching up on the mixing, giving it its own little space in the song, even if you have to push and shove some other sounds just in case. That's how, you know, I do it, at least, or that's how you can do it for this simple beat here. Of course, if you have more sounds, you have to put in more time to, you know, balance those out and whatnot. But yeah, all right guys, hopefully this video helped you. This is just the mixing side if you haven't noticed. Yeah, so yeah. It's your boy Justin Omoe. Be sure to like it, hit subscribe if you want to stick along and support your boy. We hit 84,000. We're on the road to 100,000, almost there, so I would appreciate your support. And yeah, share it to somebody if you want, teach them how to make music or how to make something simple, even if it's bad or good. You know, like this one, I honestly think it's not the best, but yeah, I'm still doing it because I want to show y'all, and it's a good practice. It's your boy Justin Omoe. With that being said, peace. I'm out.